When we think about marriage and intimacy today, it feels like our culture often just reduces the whole thing down to a physical or emotional transaction, right? It gets treated like a consumer good, evaluated purely on how it makes you feel in the moment. But man, we are missing a profoundly deep theological reality when we do that. So in this explainer, we're diving into covenantal nearness. We're looking at the divine, redemptive blueprint for what marriage is actually designed to be from the ground up.
So here's the redemptive roadmap we're looking at today. We're moving from the grand design of creation all the way down to the practical realities of your living room. We'll be hitting 4 areas. First, defining covenantal nearness. Second, the instinct to hide. Third, Christ in the church. And fourth, navigating daily conflict.
All right, section 1, defining covenantal nearness. Let's reorient our understanding of intimacy back to God's original perfect blueprint, getting away from those shallow definitions we're constantly bombarded with.
So what are we really talking about here? True biblical intimacy is this incredible gift of covenantal nearness. It's where a person is truthfully known, safely received, faithfully loved, and rightly joined, completely under God's design. This means intimacy isn't just about romance or sex or even vulnerability. It's a profound one-flesh union. It is characterized by the biblical ideas of cleaving and truly belonging. Really, it's God's powerful, definitive answer to human aloneness.
And look at the specific characteristics. This kind of depth is covenantal, meaning it's built on vows, not on your fleeting daily moods. It's truthful without being cruel. It's mutual, tender, embodied, and emotionally warm. You can just see the stark difference between the world's temporary mood-based definition of closeness and this unshakable, biblical, vow-based reality. It's definitely not some cold, rigid duty. It is a spiritually ordered delight guarded by holiness.
But let's be honest, our daily reality often falls painfully short of that perfect design. This brings us to section 2, the instinct to hide, which introduces the tension and fracture we see in every single human relationship.
When we look back at human history, there's this incredibly stark contrast. Over in Genesis 2, the reality was perfect, completely naked and unashamed. No hiding, no fear, zero suspicion or manipulation. But when sin enters the picture, the Genesis 3 reality takes over. Suddenly, humanity is hidden, afraid, covered up, and pointing fingers. Broken intimacy is literally one of the very first fruits of the fall. God designed us for ultimate transparency, but our fallen, knee-jerk instinct is constant self-protection.
And the truth is, every single husband and wife brings a Genesis 3 heart into their relationship. We show up with defensive, fearful, proud, and ashamed hearts. It's this crazy paradox. We desperately desire closeness, but at the exact same time, we're absolutely terrified of what might happen if we are truly seen. We crave being known, yet we constantly push away the very truth that closeness demands.
So, this immense tension requires a savior. And that leads us to section 3, Christ in the church, where we see the overarching, true purpose of marriage fully revealed.
Take a look at Ephesians 5:32. Paul writes, "This mystery is profound, and I am saying that it refers to Christ in the church." Now that is a complete paradigm shift. Marriage isn't mainly about personal fulfillment or self-actualization. It's a living, breathing signpost. It points directly to the ultimate bridegroom and his unbreakable union with his people. The reality is, every Christian marriage is uniquely meant to say something true about Jesus.
Because Christ serves as the ultimate model for marital union. He is the faithful bridegroom. He knows us fully, loves us truly, cleanses his bride, covers our shame, and gives himself up for her. The beauty of this is how Christ enters our shame, not to expose us or mock us, but to actively cover and cleanse us with his sacrificial covenant mercy. He doesn't just love a carefully edited, polished version of us. He loves us entirely, flaws, mess, and all.
And because of the gospel, God knows me fully, Christ covers me completely, and the Father receives me securely. You see, true peace doesn't come from your spouse knowing and loving you perfectly. No human being can possibly carry that crushing weight. True peace comes from being perfectly known by our Creator, living under His ultimate authority, and being entirely covered by the perfect sacrifice of the cross.
All right, with that deep theological foundation in place, let's jump into section 4, navigating daily marital conflict. Let's actually apply this to the friction and disagreements of everyday life.
Here's the real game changer. Gospel peace frees a husband and wife to stop demanding salvation from each other. That is incredibly liberating. Because you have ultimate secure peace with God through Christ, you are finally free from the exhausting, impossible burden of needing your spouse to be your savior. When Christ himself is your peace, that peace becomes the rich, fertile soil where real, lasting marital intimacy actually grows.
So how do we turn this lofty covenantal theology into concrete daily actions when we're in the middle of a conflict? First, confess without despair, because your shame is already permanently covered by Christ. Second, receive your spouse's weakness without contempt. Third, pursue each other without fear. And finally, rebuild trust based on truth rather than exhausting image management. When the gospel is at the absolute center, you can finally stop covering up and start genuinely connecting.
We've covered some incredibly profound ground today, but I really want to leave you with this one thought to chew on. Are you seeking salvation from your spouse, or are you reflecting the perfect peace of the cross? Take some time to really consider how rooting your intimacy in the unshakable peace of the gospel completely transforms the way you love, forgive, and connect every single day. Let that beautiful reality shape your covenant moving forward.